Alright guys, welcome back to another Wrestling Retro Review. This time we're going to be reviewing Monday Night Raw for the 18th of September 1995. Now, was this week's show better than last week's? I rated last week's 5 out of 10. Let's find out what I do with this week's show. So we start off and it is a match between, it's a rematch. Actually, they probably fought many times. It's a 1-2-3 Kid against Razor Ramon. Now last week, the 1-2-3 Kid ended up getting Razor Ramon DQ'd after he initially came out and tried to help him. So a bit of friction here. The Kid wants respect. Razor Ramon doesn't give him any. The Kid said he would beat him again tonight and prove that it was not a fluke the last time he beat him, and then that Razor Ramon, would eventually respect him. Sounds like a good plan. And this was a decent match. Went about 7-8 minutes. I like the Kid, Sean Waltman, 1-2-3 Kid. I think he's a underrated worker. Same can be said for Razor Ramon. A big guy. Yeah, he could work. When you look at his matches with like Shawn Michaels and stuff, ladder matches. And Scott Hall is a big guy. He must be about 6'6", maybe 6'7". Probably 260, 270, 80 pounds maybe. Big guy, good worker in the ring though. And this was a decent match. And you got to remember, back on TV, they didn't really go for good matches on telly. About 7-8 minutes was probably about the longest match you would get, unless it was a main event. You maybe get a bit longer, but like 7-8 minutes was probably the longest you were going to get on the undercard, and they did alright. The Kid ends up winning in the end for outside interference for Shane Douglas. But obviously, the Kid doesn't see this. He thinks he beat Razor Ramon fair and square, and then the Kid celebrates his victory after the match. We have a wee segment backstage. Shows you Shane Douglas. He's got, the teacher gimmick. He's giving Scott Hall, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, same shit. He's giving him a grade on his chalkboard or whatever, and he gives him a fail, which was pretty decent. Good. I'd give a match. I'll give it 6 out of 10, I think. 6 out of 10, why not? It did its job, it did what it was supposed to do. Probably not as good as Razor Ramon Bulldog last week. I think that had a bit more excitement towards the end and with the outside interference and stuff than this one did, but still, decent all the same. Up next with the $1 Million Corporation, Kama and Tatanka, with Ted DiBiase defeating Savio Vega and Bob Holly. This match did not interest me. It is what it is. Lasted 5-6 minutes. Just wasn't a good match. I'll give it a 3 out of 10 and let's just move forward because I did not really enjoy it. Up next after that we had Pierre Lafitte, and he's taking on Brian Walsh. And during this match they actually call Bret Hart on the phone, and Bret Hart's talking, and the guy, it just sounds like he's no fucking charisma. He's like, "You stole my jacket, he stole my glasses, I take that serious." Like, come on, you know what I mean? You're supposed to be this larger than life icon, the best there is, and he's talking about like stealing jackets, as if he's bored. I don't know, he's in a deep sleep or something. But the King, the dialogue with King and heel, the King being a heel, like he hates every face, and it's great. I understand it might seem a bit childish, but like every opportunity he would butt in and just, run down the face, which was pretty cool. Anyway, John Paul Lafitte beat Brian Walsh. I believe that's Brian Christopher, could be wrong. I think it looked like Brian Christopher, but anyway, he beats him in a really short match. Not really worth rating again. I'll give it a 4 out of 10 just because of the Bret Hart phone call, and it was something different, having a call in the match to hype their upcoming match at In Your House. But anyway, the King and Bret Hart, we know they have a dislike for each other, and this was pretty good. But I mean, just Bret Hart, I'd expect him to be a wee bit more like aggressive, and I don't know, he's just talking like, he stole my jacket, he stole the sunglasses, my mama made me that jacket, my mama. Fuck your mama, right, man? This is WWE. Say something different, right? No one gives a shit about your sunglasses, right? But anyway, I'll give that a 4 out of 10. And then in the main event with Owen Hart and YOKOZUNA, with Jim Cornette and Mr. Fuji taking on Men on a Mission, King Mabel and Sir Mo. Now, a match with YOKOZUNA and Mabel in it is never going to be a classic, and this one certainly wasn't. And it actually lasted quite long, almost 10 minutes this match lasted. Probably could have been a lot shorter than that, to be honest. But anyway, Owen Hart and Yokozuna defeating men on a mission. What, two fat bastards. Let's call them that. And that was all and well. I'll give this I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Probably me being kind to it. But then after the match, in my opinion, probably the best thing of the show with Jim Cornette. He gets on the mic and he cuts a promo on. Well, directly after the match, he'd Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels. They were backstage. They cut a small promo, but after that, he'd Jim Cornette, and he talked about how that come after the end of the pay-per-view that Yokozuna or Owen Hart was going to have the World Championship. And Jim Cornette, like I said, really good talker, and I liked him in this role. He should have been used more, and I think he should be in WWE today. If you look at WWE today, there's no one really with a manager. You've got Lana, who she did manage Rusev, but really they've kind of broke him up now. I mean, why not have managers? Why not have, like, I don't know, Braun Strowman? They don't think he's a good talker. Then why not have Jim Cornette as his manager? Like, surely there's room for managers these days. But you know what? That's today. We're not talking about today's era. We're talking about 1995, and this was good stuff for Jim Cornette. After the match, Owens and Yokozuna celebrate. And then we have a prediction for Jerry Lawler and Vince McMahon. Jerry Lawler predicts that come in your house, Yokozuna is going to be the new world champion when he pins Diesel. So guys, there you go. That is the Raw. To be honest, I didn't really enjoy this Raw. Like I said, the Bret Hart thing on the phone was pretty good. It was unique, you know. I just kind of wish that he'd seem a bit more up for it. But it is what it is. Then Jim Cornette thing was good at the end, and also the Razor Ramon and 1-2-3 Kid match was pretty decent. But alright guys, there you go. Overall, I will give this show I gave last week a 5 out of 10. I'll give this week, I think a 4 would be too low, but I think it was slightly below last week. I'm going to give this week a 5 again, although I do feel it was just a bit weaker than last week's, but I'll give it a 5 nonetheless. So first two Monday Night Raws I've reviewed, they've been alright, but nothing spectacular, so I can only give it a 5, guys. But like I say, it's not terrible, it's just, and it's an hour show, and there's a couple of things on the show that I think are decent, and then there's a couple of things I don't think are decent. So I think a 5 in the middle is more than fair. So there you go, guys, another 5 for this week's Monday Night Raw. Let me know what you think, guys, down below, and let me know how you would like to see a 60-minute Iron Man match between Yokozuna and King Mabel. I think that'd be a classic. What do you think? 5 stars? Maybe even Dave Meltzer would give it a 6.25 stars and start masturbating, eh? What do you think? Anyway, guys, until next time, peace.